Colonial Surety Company, subject to certification of availability of funds. Second.
Motion made by Council President, second by Mr. Sedilli. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cara?
Yes.
Councilman Fooey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara?
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi?
Yes.
Council President LaBelle?
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia?
Yes.
What we're doing right now is taking public action on a discussion that we had in executive session.
And I'd also like to make another motion to authorize the borough attorney to refile a complaint against ADS concerning Gannett litigation.
Second. Motion made by Council President, second by Mrs. Cara. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cara?
Yes.
Councilman Fooey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara?
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi?
Yes.
Council President LaBelle?
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia?
Yes.
Good. Thank you very much, Council. It's good to get those two things out. Now we have a resolution out of order. And I think once you find out what it is, you'll understand why it's been taken out of order. For over 100 years, our fire department has been a very important component of our community. And at one time, it was a strictly social organization before all its fire science started to develop. And we had many 65, 70, 75, 100 members in our fire department. And you can see some of the photographs of sitting in front of the Anderson Street Firehouse. And it takes up the entire front of the firehouse with various men. And as fire science has become more sophisticated and more technologically advanced, you're getting fewer and fewer people who are willing to make that commitment, because you need to spend time at fire college and you need to learn how to fight a particular fire. You need to know chemistry and physics and all the other good things that go along with that. So when we get the opportunity to have 2 young people join our fire department as junior firefighters, that's a real important event in the borough. And we have that opportunity this evening. We have 2 fine young men. Resolution number 2015-07-87, appointment of junior firefighters. And I'm going to read the entire resolution tonight. Whereas the Raritan Fire Department has received applications for junior membership to Relief Hose Company number 2. And whereas in accordance with the bylaws of Relief Hose Company number 2, the applicants were accepted as junior members of the Raritan Fire Department. They had to be 14 years old. Whereas the membership of Relief Hose Company number 2 recommends that the mayor and council appoint Jake Gara and Xavier Garay to the position of junior firefighters in the Raritan Fire Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and borough council of the Borough of Raritan, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, that Jake Gara and Xavier Garay are hereby appointed to the positions of junior firefighters in the Raritan Fire Department effective immediately. Is there someone that would like to move that resolution?
So moved.
I'll second. Motion made by the council president, second by Mrs. Gara. Roll call.
Councilwoman Cara?
Yes.
Councilman Fooey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara?
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi?
Yes.
Council President LaBelle?
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia?
Yes.
All right. This is one of the fun parts of being the mayor. We'll do it in alphabetical order. Jacob. You want someone to hold the Bible for you? You want your mother to hold the Bible for you? Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Jake Gara. I, Jake Gara. Solemnly swear. Solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
And that I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance.
And allegiance.
To the same.
To the same.
And to the governments.
And to the governments.
Established in the United States.
Established in the United States.
And in this state.
And in this state.
Under the authority of the people.
Under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear.
I do further solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully.
That I will faithfully.
Impartially.
Impartially.
And justly perform.
And justly perform.
All the duties.
All the duties.
Of Raritan Borough Junior Firefighter.
Raritan Borough Junior Firefighter.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my
So
ability.
help me God.
So help me God.
Garay,
I, Xavier Garay,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in the state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of
all the duties of
Raritan Borough Junior Firefighter
Raritan Borough Junior Firefighter
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my
so
ability,
help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. All right, now, same thing, I need you to sign it here and print your name and address down. We're in good shape in the fire department with these two fine
Sign
young
up
men.
for the planning board while you're at it.
What?
What about the planning board while you're at it?
It's a little disconcerting when you've got somebody who's taller than you like that.
How old are you, Xavier?
14, sir.
Are you looking forward to the Army in the future?
Army, Navy.
I'll say Navy, Paul will probably say Army down there.
You're wearing the right T-shirt.
That's right.
Well, if you're joining, we'd like to thank you for your
Congratulations.
service.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Super, super. Okay, we have come to the next portion of the meeting, which is public comments. If there is anyone who would like to address the council at this point. Mr. Brown? I remind you that you please direct all questions to the mayor, impertinence, wishes, or personal remarks that are inappropriate, and anyone who cannot follow common rules of courtesy or who becomes boisterous may be asked to leave the meeting room.
Thomas Brown, 18 Elmer Street. Mayor and council, I just wanted to bring to your attention a couple of points that were in an article that appeared in the paper this past week, or maybe a week and a half ago, quoting Michael Catania, who is the executive director of the Duke Foundation. And he said, demolition of the mansion will allow the foundation to open the entrance of the property from River Road to the John Basilone Veteran Memorial Bridge, over the Raritan River from Raritan Borough to Hillsborough. And I just wanted to point out, been to many of the meetings leading up to, as they continue to enhance the Duke estate. This is, to me, a relatively new thing, because the discussion of opening the back gate was relegated, at least in my mind, to bicycle traffic up until the time I read this. And what was particularly interesting to me is that if they, in fact, open the back gate to vehicular traffic, then we clearly need to be aware of the traffic ramifications that's going to come forward in court. The second thing that Mr. Catania said, eventually that bike path could connect to a possible rail trail on the right-of-way of the former South Branch and Central Railroad of New Jersey that used to connect Somerville to Flemington. What's particularly interesting in that quote is the fact that what he didn't say, and that is that the discussion that I was participating in and heard in the various public forums was to open the back gate to bicycle traffic over the Lyman Street Bridge. Nothing was said about that, and I just want to point out that those folks are continuing to advance and work hard to bring the 1 million+ people that are now coming to visit. And I don't know how much we're involved in sitting and listening and knowing what they're doing, but clearly they're moving forward. And if we're not with them and on the train, we've missed the train. So I just encourage you to kind of keep aware that stuff is happening, and if we want to be part of it, we got to be there.
Well, I don't really think that they're going to open the entire park to vehicular traffic. As you and I had this conversation before.
Yes, we did.
I think he was misquoted once you pull into the parking lot, the car stops. They don't like gasoline burning cars in the property. Everything is electric vehicles there.
That's true. But the fact is that as a town, we need to be prepared for the ramifications of the vehicular traffic that could come through the back gate as opposed to the main entrance. If they have an excess of 1 million attendees now, there's no impact to the town at all. You wouldn't know that there's 1 million more people going to visit there. I certainly don't. I live at that end of town.
They take the car.
But the back gate's not open. If the back gate opens, I gotta believe it's gonna have some kind of a ramification on us. So, no.
Well, maybe a phone call to Mike is appropriate.
And that's the county, most county roads, right? First Avenue,
Exactly.
County Road, Somerset Street.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's a good problem to have, though.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We want that traffic coming into town.
Anyone else?
Gotta get Orlando Drive done. Gotta get our riverfront done.
All right, let's see if anyone else is going to close the first portion of public comment. We have a visitor with us this morning, or this evening. It's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again, Mayor.
Thank you. Lieutenant Walsh did a wonderful program for us a number of years ago on gangs. Excellent. So, but he's here tonight to discuss something else. Did you have that question?
Yeah, this was in response, the council had questions regarding that ordinance.
Yes. Yes.
So rather than try to explain it in writing, Mr. Wolf is coming in
Yes.
to.
So, floor is yours, sir.
Okay. As you know, there's a proposed ordinance on the floor that's going to affect Raritan Borough. And what that is it's an ordinance that's going to deal with the sale of secondhand goods, particularly gold and silver, in the borough of Somerville. As you're all well aware, you know, burglaries have increased throughout the state of New Jersey since 2008 and have been an increase. One of the things that fueled this is what I refer to as the gold rush. Right around 2010, we started to see a huge spike in the resale of gold. The price of gold per pennyweight went up through the market. Same thing with silver and other precious metals. And unfortunately, as a result of that, at the same time, we start to see throughout the state of New Jersey the rapid abuse of heroin, and have been addressing that. Well, the dependency of a heroin addict per day is what we're seeing is the range is costing them anywhere from $100 to $300 a day to support a drug habit. Where does somebody who's not working get the funds to support that type of habit? Unfortunately, they result in things like theft and burglary, and that's why we've seen the increase. 2010, when I took over the burglary unit, I tried to figure out what's the best way to get the pulse of what's going on with residential burglaries, and I found out the best way to do that is to find out where people are getting rid of the proceeds, where are people selling these things. Unfortunately, they're going to secondhand goods shops, jewelry stores, and things like that to sell the gold. And unfortunately, a ring that might be precious to you, that you may have paid a good penny for because of the artisanship of the ring or the value that has to yourself intrinsically, they're not getting that on a resale. You know, something that you might have paid dearly for, they're getting $30, $40, $50, $120. What we're also finding out is that a lot of the buyers are not adhering to the 2C statute under the law in terms of retaining the records for 5 years, getting appropriate state identification from the person, recording the state identification, holding the seized property, or purchased property, for a minimum of 10 days, turning the property sheets over to the local police department. These are the issues that we're seeing. We've tried numerous times going into and talking to the owners of the shop. We even did stings 2 years ago where we sent undercover officers into there. And what we found is some of the most reputable shops, what we believe were some of the most reputable shops through the county, were the biggest violators of it. We met statewide with the New Jersey State Police and all the different county prosecutors, and we came up with another system to try and memorialize that. And what we're doing is we're trying to institute these municipal ordinances on a town-by-town basis. You might ask yourself, well, why don't we just go with state legislation to do it as a state? We did try and do that. Senator Kip Bateman and other legislators did introduce legislation for the secondhand goods sales. Unfortunately, Chris Christie vetoed that law, so it didn't come to fruition. So the state police and the local counties have been going on a county-by-county basis trying to get these municipal ordinances enacted give some teeth into the existing laws for the purchase of secondhand goods and golds. And that's the whole premise of what this ordinance is. We were trying to be the first in the state of New Jersey to do it as Somerset County, but unfortunately Ocean County beat us to it, and Ocean County right now has all their municipalities on this municipal ordinance. It seems like it's coming up from the south to the north. The entire state of Maryland does it, the entire state of Delaware does it. We're on the cusp of the entire state of Pennsylvania doing it, and unfortunately New Jersey's a little bit slower and behind the 8 ball, but knowing how we are in Somerset County, we're trying to get out in front of that to maintain the communities that we have and institute these type of ordinances.
Are you talking specifically pawn shops, or are you talking about jewelry stores, or because the jewelry stores are all by gold?
They are. The jewelry stores would be held accountable for this. And
But,
right
but
now,
they're not regulated like a pawn shop is. They don't fall under the same statute.
a pawn shop falls under a completely different statute because a pawn shop has to do, it comes under the banking industry.
I know I regulate.
Okay, well then you'll know well what I'm talking
But we
about.
don't regulate the jewelry.
The banking industry does not. The jewelers are regulated under Division of Weights and Measures. Right, but unfortunately, under Title 52, which is the Weights and Measures statute, again, there's no teeth in that statute either. When we did these stings, we found people that were buying known stolen properties. We sent undercovers into some of these jewelry stores, posing as an undercover thief, saying, this is stolen property, don't ask me any questions where it came from, I just want to get paid out what I can. Stores bought it in Somerset County. We did charge these people, but unfortunately with no teeth in the Title 52 statute for weights and measures and the 2C statute, the next day the individual was getting new scales and operating a new store. The cases are still being screened right now, so I really can't go into depth as to where they're at, but unfortunately with the existing laws there's no teeth. So we're looking for the municipalities to institute these ordinances because, as you may be aware, is the way it's going to be regulated is the shops, the secondhand goods, and the jewelry stores are going to pay a licensing fee to the township for a $300 licensing fee. What that's going to do is it's going to allow us to do some background checks and get a system in place called Rapid, which is going to interconnect all the municipalities. So your detective that's over here in Raritan will be able to run stolen goods. Because what's going to happen is a person that commits a burglary in Raritan Borough probably isn't going to sell it in Raritan Borough. They're probably going to sell it in Bridgewater, North Plainfield, or somewhere else. Through this system, as they're all interconnecting statewide, they'll be able to search these databases. They'll be able to run a suspect. If they have a good burglary suspect, they'll be able to put this individual's information in there and find out, oh, he's selling these goods in Ocean County. Oh, he's selling them in Union County. He's selling them in Middlesex County. So it's stepping into the current times to be able to network these agencies together to track where this jewelry is going and where these proceeds of crimes are showing.
Is this Rapid a police program?
It is not. It's a private sale, but it's the only...
So now you're going to force the vendors and the business owners to buy a program to be compliant?
No, we're not forcing them to buy anything.
Okay, then we don't need to. Okay, go on.
Okay. Rapid is the only system that the New Jersey State Police is going to let go into the NLETS and the NCIC system. So if your house is burglarized and you were lucky enough to record your serial numbers, when those serial numbers go into NCIC, if that TV is sold anywhere in the state of New Jersey, your detective will be alerted that this TV was just sold in this store, in this location. In addition to that, it also tracks through NCIC and the NLETS system sex offenders. So if you have somebody in Raritan who's a sex offender that didn't register, your detectives will also be notified of that also. It'll also search eBay, and it will also do a search function for Craigslist.
Can I just, with jewelry, if someone came to my house and robbed my jewelry,
Yes, sir.
and they went and sold it at Tropiano's?
His
Yes.
jewelry's not worth much.
No, I buy CZs, but, how would they know?
Right now,
why
what
don't
we
we
do...
look at what they do already?
How would you know like a 14-karat necklace was?
Well, you would know by this form that they fill out every purchase already. It's got, if you look at the ordinance, they want every vendor for every purchase to itemize on a sheet
As
a
required,
receipt,
as
a
required by
numbered
law.
receipt, which is required by law already.
But listen, again, most people I would assume that they target would be probably older audiences that probably don't have paper records. And
No,
listen,
no,
I'm not trying to say, how would you know that?
Because as that person goes into, and we'll just use Tropiano's because it's in your store. If I'm a thief and I have your gold wedding ring, when I take that with Tropiano's, the rapid system will set up Tropiano's with a computer and camera system.
If he purchases this program,
So he doesn't have to purchase the program.
you're gonna give it to
When
him
the
for
township,
free,
when the township, yes, he will get it for free when the township enacts this ordinance.
which is gonna cost all the vendors $300 a year.
The $300 will be for the registration
You don't think
fee.
it's hard enough for these people to be doing business already in town?
From seeing the slips that come through, no, I don't. I think that's.
That boom that you're talking about was 5 years ago.
Well,
These guys are not buying gold and
I'm
silver
not
right
going to
now.
debate with you about the prices.
No, but it's more ridiculous. He's killing the business owners and operators here. So why don't,
Tropiano will have this photography system in his computer. So when you come in, they're gonna take your state government ID as required, they're gonna put it on the system, they're gonna put it with the ring, and it's gonna get photographed. Okay? So what the detectives could do is they could start searching these jewelry stores for 14 karat gold men's wedding band. And they could do a date range and see all the 14 karat gold wedding bands that were sold in a date range. Then they could start looking at the photos to see if you have something descriptive enough that'll fit that profile. That's how it
let's
works.
look at other
No,
things.
I get it, I do
Okay.
that, believe another thing, I just think that the bad pawn shop guy or whatever, especially gold and silver.
Right.
They're
Well,
not
what
gonna
this is
be
gonna
British
do is
with
this
no
is gonna
gas.
set an even playing field.
No,
Okay? Because it'll give us teeth for that.
What teeth is
Individual.
it gonna give you? You already have the license, you already have the picture ID.
Because
You have
now
every item.
if they're not doing it the way they're supposed to be doing it, we have the ability with your local police department to
So
go
now you're
in there.
putting more of a
and-
burden on my local police department who doesn't have any more time to be enforcing these.
Greg, don't kill the messenger.
Let me ask
Does
you,
anybody else have
I
a
need to
question?
make this a point because we're gonna vote on it obviously
As-
here, and I got other issues.
Good for
yeah,
you.
you do. Has anyone else in the
Was it
county
state?
gone ahead and
Four
signed off on it?
municipalities, Warren Township, North Plainfield, Far Hills, and Somerville is in the process of passing it.
Now, if this is a state-run program and it's been cleared through the state police, through
Yes,
the
sir.
Attorney General's office, this and that, why are you going down to the municipal level when all you have to do is bless it and say everybody in the state has to do it?
Well, as I
Obviously,
said,
it's
we tried to do that. There was legislation put in effect to have that done, but it was vetoed by the governor
So this is a backdoor way to circumvent that?
to protect the people of the state of New Jersey, correct?
And what if not everybody buys in? So what happens then?
Well, if not everybody buys in what that place is, that's gonna become a magnet. Because if all the surrounding areas are involved in this rapid system and they're doing it properly, the places that aren't are gonna become a magnet for people that are looking to get rid of this jewelry. So the people that are coming into that area that are getting rid of stolen proceeds, there's a higher chance that they're gonna commit additional crimes while they're in that area.
I have to be
Or
honest
you're
with you,
creating a target zone.
that the department I work for does regulate pawn shops, and we do work with weights and measures. And although there are some bad actors out there, there's not a great many bad actors. A lot of them, these places have been cleaned up.
Yes, sir.
It's not nearly the problem it was a couple of years ago. But if you feel this is something worthwhile, you know.
What do you do with people, I'm gonna give you an example.
Yes, ma'am.
A number of years ago, I belonged to a particular gym in Bridgewater, and there was a sign up that John Smith was coming in and he was going to be he's gonna gold and silver and purchasing.
Transient buyers.
Transient buyers,
Yes.
is there a way to track?
Transient buyers are still regulated in there, and what they need to do is they need to report to the local police department and let them know that they're doing these gold sales. In a
We're
perfect
also
world,
tracked in weights and measures.
yes, that's correct. In a perfect world, does it work? No, because you could have the gold buyer sale at your house, where you have, your lady friends come by. Is it a perfect scenario? Absolutely not. But we have to deal with what we have now.
What about the
What
guy
our
with
best
the
choices
kiosk
are.
in Bridgewater Mall? Is
He's
he-
monitored.
He's monitored?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Now, how about the guy on First Street here who's buying used bikes, fixing them up and selling them? Does he have to pay the $300 fee? He's buying used goods and reselling them.
Well, if
How about the used car shop?
can I answer your question,
Yes,
sir?
I'm giving you a couple of examples there.
And in the ordinance that I passed out, we actually have
No, this is really.
a model ordinance. And that's up to you. Okay, this is your town, you can take it and add as much as you
It's
want.
hard enough for these small business owners to be surviving already, and now you're gonna be taxing on them.
No, you're right, but what's gonna prevent the guy that's taking the bicycles to taking it to the next step and starting to buy GPSs, starting to buy cell phones, starting to buy computers that are occurring in car burglaries?
This, they're already documenting everything.
That only applies to precious metals, that doesn't apply to bicycles, that doesn't apply to GPSs.
So you are saying that the bicycle guy here that has a little shop is
It
gonna have to...
depends on what statute I don't know what ordinance you have there.
Whatever you guys provided, I'm sure, right?
Okay, then the model ordinance does include that.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
So the computer guy here, if he buys,
If he's buying secondhand computers, yes, he is
another
also
$300 to
responsible
his
for that.
business, another
That is correct.
$300 to this guy.
Yes.
And we can go on and on and on and on. And who
Or-
gets that $300?
Or you could limit it and just keep it to people that are involved in precious metals, people that are involved in electronics. That's up to you.
Because these people in precious metals right now are paying their bills. They're not buying and selling gold and silver. You missed that boat. That was 5 years ago.
All right.
And 20 years
Well,
ago
sir,
was the
all
last
I can
rush
tell
hour.
you is from my unit collecting those forms and looking at those forms, the sales are increasing. The reason we need this system is when it started 10 years ago, we were getting maybe 100 sheets a month. Now we're getting 1,200 a month.
Because they're filling them out.
And it's pretty daunting to have detectives sitting there going through the paperwork. The computer system would be better. But
Why? They still got to fill out the paperwork.
no, they don't have to fill out the paperwork because the
They're
new
not,
system that's
if you
going to
read
be...
the ordinance, if somebody walks in with 25 pieces of silver, they have to individually take a picture of each piece of silver.
In which they still have to do under the statute. There's no change in that. They have
Well,
to do it either
they don't
way.
have to do it now. They can take a bulk picture of all
No,
of it
you're
on
incorrect.
one.
You're incorrect.
So that's what they're doing now.
I know that's what they're doing. That's what we're trying to prevent by putting the system in place correctly.
But that, and it's undue.
Correct. Who gets the 300?
The $300 goes to the county clerk, that goes up to the county prosecutor.
Bingo.
There's an entire bill for the computer system we put in place.
Okay.
The prosecutor's office is going to pay for this system out of those funds.
Okay, and excess funds goes to the county?
What we have is there's a contract with the Rapid system where it's a set fee. It's not going to go up in cost. So we have that cost fixed in. They're not going to raise the fees. It's not going to go up next year to $350, to $400, to $450. It's a flat fee.
So you're telling us that we, through the ordinance, could
25
regulate,
years.
we could regulate,
If you want to make it $500.
no. We could regulate whom we want to charge at 300. We don't have to do the guy with the bicycles and the
You do not.
electronics. But
You do
we're
not.
basically, you guys are looking at gold and silver, and that's the basis for this program?
You could also have a sliding scale. If you've got a jewelry store, you could give them one fee. If you've got electronics store, you could give them another fee.
Who's gonna do all
You
this?
could
The
charge-
chief is going
Who's
to
gonna
do
make
all of
those
this.
determinations?
The chief is.
It's
We've got
written
plenty of time
in
for our
the-
police department to go out
Why
and do
would
it.
you-
I mean, here's an example that might clear things up. If the town of Far Hills, they have a lot of antique stores, and they're buying essentially secondhand goods. Their question to me was, do we have to include our antique stores? And my answer to them was, that's up to you. If you don't want to include the antique stores, you don't have to. What we're looking is to reduce the amount of crime. What's taken in crime? Gold, silver, electronics.
How many people have recovered their pieces of jewelry through this process?
Since 2010, 385.
It's in the state?
Somebody's
In
stealing my
Somerset County.
jewelry, I want to be able to get it back.
And electronics, that includes
Through
electronics.
these forms. I instituted these forms in 2010.
So these forms
And
are
in
working.
2010, I put a lot of resistance about implementing the
But
forms.
we already have something in and it's working.
It's not working good enough. We can do better.
You can always do better, but there's got to be,
That's
there's got to be a
exactly my
cost
point.
of
But
doing
we don't,
business.
we
and
don't
this is
have
it.
anything on the books regulating this. There's nothing in our code that regulates
The
this.
county has, they have to do this for every sale. They have to
There's
hold the
nothing that
material.
prevents them if they don't.
Well, that's a different issue.
No, it's not. That's what this is about.
That's what
This
this
is not, this is not creating a penalty for them if they don't do
The
it.
penalty if they don't do it is through, if you read the ordinance, through the chief of police, he can revoke the license so they can't do the business or purchasing in your town. That's the penalty.
That's an awful lot of power to be dishing out. We got Weights and Measures has a ordinance. The county is doing this. It's just an added expense to everybody's business, and so I can go in there with a gold ring to a store, and they can say, oh, that's an antiquity, that doesn't count, that's not.
No,
Oh,
they
no,
can't.
every single-
Or I can go in there with a bag of $10,000, and being that it's in the banking system, these guys don't have to report cash exchanges.
Does this include, I'm gonna assume under secondhand goods, I scanned it quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
Things like coin collections and.
Coins are different, and it depends on what they're being bought for. If it's a silver coin that's being purchased for the intrinsic value of the silver, I'm buying it for the silver amount, then they have to, it falls under weights and measures. If they're buying it for collectability as a coin shop to sell it that way, it doesn't fall into the state statute that way.
Can we table this for now until we
I
think
think we
about
should.
it
I
a
think
little
we
bit
should
more?
get our
and look at the
vendors in
ordinance,
here.
Try to figure out who we're gonna be charging, who we're not gonna be charging, and, because we don't know the full
Yes, ma'am.
ramifications for this.
Just, out of the other communities that have adopted this,
Yes.
have they sat here and picked the ordinance apart and?
No, ma'am.
I mean, I could go through it where I went through it with some of the
it
vendors in
seems
town.
that.
Councilman Utter from Somerville had some questions. I handled his questions over the phone. He seemed satisfied with the answers at that point in time.
It just seems that, I mean, I respect everybody's questions and opinions, but I just think to sit here and, okay, we're gonna put a fee on this one, we're gonna pull this, we're gonna do this. I mean, if everybody read the ordinance, it seems pretty clear to me.
We have to do
It is
physical
very
descriptions
complicated.
out of the buyer.
Is it better?
As required under
We're
state
trying
law
to-
and weights and measures.
So I have to
Well,
go
it's-
in there and say
It's not
5,
clear
10.
because the gentleman clearly told us we could charge this one, we don't charge that one, we could charge 500.
As I
we
know
could
it
charge
right now,
300.
you might
That's
be able-
not written and it's not in black and white. We have it, that's not clear.
You might be able to correct me, but I know right now there's two facilities in your township that buy gold and silver. Are there any secondhand stores in your town that buy electronics, things of that nature?
Well,
I
the
don't
one thing
believe
that- The
so.
one thing that's on that they might is music instruments.
Okay.
Because there's like 4.
And what you could do is in your
And our guitar
ordinance,
shop, the guitar center,
There's like
we
4
have to have that in
Well, you got
this
Guitar
ordinance?
Center Circle, you got the 2.
and again, sir, you don't have to.
Right.
That's something that you may or may not
But you
like
said
to
there's
do.
no teeth to it. If you don't make it across the board even,
But see, if that's just,
But you-
it, then why are
you're
you gonna
targeting
sit
one-
here and pick this thing apart?
Typically,
Make it
criminals,
across the
right,
board,
the
why?
bad,
Yes,
You
sir.
can't sit
head
here
is
and
looking for
pick
gold,
and choose. If it-
silver,
Precious metals.
You
and
gotta
electronics.
do, you
They're
gotta
not
be
stealing
feeding
shells.
to every.
No,
Yeah,
we're
but
saying
yeah.
cell phones,
They're not
computers,
stealing guitars.
televisions.
I'm not stealing
All that, you have statistics, I don't have.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying.
And isn't it
Gold,
better
silver,
to have something in
whatever,
place like
watches,
this where you
yes.
get your jewelry back?
And like,
It's
in
not just
electronics.
jewelry.
Jewelry.
It's everything.
Yes.
you sell, and if somebody comes into your house and steals your jewelry,
And
they're
it
probably
should
gonna
be
melt it
across
down to
the
the weight.
board,
They're not gonna be reselling it.
If there's already mechanisms to get jewelry back, it's not like if you lost a bracelet, you're never ever gonna see it again. There are other entities out there.
My bracelet's gone, the one that matched this, you don't see it on my wrist,
Okay,
none.
did you
My-
fill out a
my-
form?
From my experience from running the burglary unit for the past 8 years is I've never seen
None.
the thief, the individual that committed the burglary, melt the stuff down themselves.
No, they tried to sell it.
Within half hour to a day, 30 minutes to 24 hours, they're looking to go to a shop that's gonna buy it. And
But
that's
you're
where it
right,
sits.
but if
Well, if you come across a bracelet that looks like this, it's 9, somewhere in
And every
Somerville.
sale has to be documented and emailed to the Raritan Police Department and the prosecutor's office already. With a driver's license, a description, everything.
I think this needs to be back burner until we figure it out a little bit better. There's too many variables.
How many other
Not for
municipalities,
nothing,
Somerset
and
County?
again, with all due
There's
respect,
18
this
municipalities
ordinance has
that this
been
would affect in
backburnered
Somerset County.
for 2
4
months
have
now.
passed it so far.
This is
The
like
other
the
ones
third
are in the
time.
process within the next month.
What's the hurry? I mean, has it gotta be
No,
done
no,
today?
I don't think there needs to be, my opinion is it should be for gold and silver and the electronics.
Well, see, that's your
agree.
opinion.
That's what they're looking for.
But you know, that might not be her opinion, so we
Well,
haven't,
that's what I'm saying,
we
that's
haven't
my opinion
decided.
is.
Huh?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I
my
think we
opinion
should
is.
discuss it then,
What?
especially with him here, I think we should have a
No, I
discussion.
understand, we all understand the concept, it's just that it's open-ended, and there's a lot of variables here that we didn't discuss, that maybe you should back burner. There's no reason it has to be done tonight, right?
No. Now, you just,
2 weeks from
I
now.
can make sure, I don't know if everybody's got a copy of this model ordinance. Let me give you a little history of the model ordinance. The way this was constructed is we had law enforcement from the whole state of New Jersey, from Bergen County all the way down to Cape May County, come together and say, what do we want to include? And we went over these things, okay? And we said, some towns wanted to include this, some towns didn't. So to construct, 524 ordinances isn't right. So we came up with one model ordinance. But what we asked is, if you see here, I have highlighted 7 points that we asked not be changed. The towns could adopt it any way they want, but these 7 points we asked not be changed. And they fall in with 2C in Title 52. That all dealers be licensed, including transient buyers and itinerant businesses. The purchasers fully document identifying information of sellers of precious metals and other secondhand goods, including the valid government-issued photo ID. The dealer place a 10-day hold on any precious metal items purchased before resale to allow for inspection by the chief of police or his designee.
Isn't that already a law?
It
They
is.
have to hold 10 days already.
It is, sir, but if you read the 2C law or the Title II, there's no penalties for not doing it.
Why don't you adjust that and put a penalty on that law instead
Sir,
of
as
enacting a
I
whole?
stated 3 times today, we tried, Governor Christie vetoed it.
Why did he veto it? What was his reasoning?
He felt like it. He gave no reasons, he just vetoed it.
There had to be a reason.
He doesn't
Okay.
have to give a reason.
The dealers be required to enter by the close of each business day complete electronic record of all purchases of precious metals and other secondhand goods to the electronic database system. That's going to be the RAPID system as outlined by the chief of
What if
police.
they don't have the computers in the office?
It will be addressed with RAPID system for them. Every place in Somerset County that I've been to, we've already looked at this and did a survey, they all have computers already.
But what if they didn't?
Well, that would be something we have to address.
So that should be in here, then if they don't have a system capable of doing it, then the county would purchase that.
Okay, or Raritan Borough will purchase it.
What, with the $300 that's going to the county?
No, you could set aside other money for that, sir.
Like where?
Okay, no concerns for the businessman here. No concern at all, okay.
That the item purchased be individually photographed and uploaded to the electronic database system at the time of purchase. Those are the 7 things that we request. If the borough wants to make changes to that, we have no problem, but those are the 7 functions that we ask that remain in effect.
If a jewelry store is, what do you mean licensing? Who licensed them?
It's going to be licensed through the clerk here in the borough of Raritan. That's the $300 fee that they pay for the clerk to get a license annually.
That's
This is-
a borough license, a county license,
A borough
state
license. A borough license.
So we would maintain these borough licenses.
That's correct. And if you have a business that is continually violating the provisions of your ordinance, then the license could be pulled, and that's the remedy to get a business that you do not want doing business in Raritan Borough out of your borough.
Can I ask another question?
Yes, ma'am.
You said the fee can go up. Can the fee go down?
Can there
In
be
order
no
to get
fee?
in- Can the fee go down in order to get into the RAPID system? Or does it have to be $300?
It has to be $300. That's the price that was negotiated with the system through the state, and they said that they would adhere to that for
No, I
20
just-
years.
okay.
So unfortunately, unless you want to come up with another mechanism to offset that cost, we're looking to try and do it so there's no cost to the
No, I
borough
just- I
and no
just wanna
cost
know.
to the police
So
department.
300 is the minimum?
Right. Now, the advantage is that when your police department gets on it, is they'll have access to this RAPID system, not only to purview what's going on in Raritan Borough, but in every other system that uses RAPID, which is rapidly, I hate to use the term, quickly growing in the state of New Jersey, and we're hoping that every county in Somerset will be on it by
Our
year's end.
detectives will also get one of these RAPID systems, so they'll automatically.
Your detective will be able to log on right from his desk, from his iPad, and see who's putting in there. They can put alerts in there that if they do have a burglary suspect that goes down to Franklin Township and make sales there, they'll get an alert. There's highs and lows where people are pawning an excessive amount. Think about it for yourself. If you're going to get rid of scrap jewelry, how many times are you going to do that? Once, maybe twice. So if we could set, if we set a high limit of one individual who pawns more than 8 times, that's somebody that you might want to look at, because who's making 8 continuous sales? Sure, it could be somebody doing estate sales, going to estates and buying gold and silver, but it's something that the detectives should look into. So it gives the detectives other avenues of investigation for crimes occurring within your borough. Now, there is one
Is this
other,
gonna cease to be a usable, a requirement by these people?
it will be superseded by the rapid system. They're not gonna have to go to pen and paper anymore. It's all gonna be done electronically.
Well, they have to already electronically file this stuff with you guys. Every day, they
I'd
fill
be
out
curious
a
to the
purchase
point-
report.
But it's gonna be done live time on a computer. As you're there making the sale, they're scanning your license, typing it in, hit enter, they're done.
They're
There
taking
is-
a physical description of the seller.
Yes.
They're looking at him and say, I think he's 185
It's a
pounds.
drop-down menu. I'm sure you're
And
familiar
you're
with
gonna do
computers.
this, all this, hold on, I gotta take your description when the seller is in your store?
I'm sure you've been in Wawa's and Quick Check and made sandwiches by pushing the buttons. It's the same thing.
No, it's not at all.
When do you plan to have this fully operational?
I'm hoping to have all the 18 municipalities that affect in Somerset County up by the end of the year.
So if we decide as a borough that the only people that we're going to charge this $300 fee for are people that buy gold and silver, that's perfectly fine.
That's perfectly fine.
So we don't have to get the guy with the electronics, which we really don't have, or the bicycles,
But
or
we
the,
do have
or
electronics here in town.
huh?
We do have electronics here in town.
Well, who says we should have them in the system? That's the point.
Well, that's
Don't
one,
know.
that's one of the other items that you can get rid of.
Chief,
very
Chief,
easily.
do we have a lot of problem in town with people buying gold and silver that's stolen? Raritan Police Department get called.
We have burglaries here that we can never.
No, you have burglaries, but did they go to Trupiano's? Did you get a call for a place on Main Street?
I can answer that,
Any of
sir.
that?
The two stores in your town, both Tropianos, you can talk to Mr. Tropiano, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, Ed Roberts. I've been in both of those stores, and proceeds have been sold in both of those stores that we have recovered through the sheets.
It's working.
It is, but we're, like I said, we're looking to get better.
Well, you can put governors on cars and stop speeding, but when are we gonna stop? When are we gonna stop with all this extra cost to the citizen, to the vendor, to the...
Sir, all I can say is I respect your opinion.
And I respect yours, there's gotta be a point when these guys are barely making it in town, and we're being counterproductive to business in town, and this is just another one of the ways that we are being counterproductive.
Do they currently, do either one of the gold and precious, do they pay any kind of licensing fee now?
There's not, which I actually found ironic. Again, when I took this over in 2010, shops weren't monitored. Some PDs, and I'm not saying Raritan, but there were other police departments that didn't even realize they had people buying gold and silver in their municipalities before we set this up. Right now, we have 52 precious metal buyers in Somerset County. And when I started talking to these people in these stores that came from other areas, they routinely paid a licensing fee to the township to engage in that business. Now, the licensing fee that they paid was more substantial than $300, and they weren't getting anything for it. It wasn't covering electronic filing, it wasn't doing anything, it was just a $300 fee that they paid to a clerk.
Like a liquor license?
Exactly.
So cell phones, right?
Yes, sir.
So there's an AT&T in Raritan.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
They're
So-
retail though, you don't monitor retail.
Well,
It's
the way
in
this,
the ordinance.
But I can sell a phone.
it is in the ordinance.
Right, that you don't monitor them because they're not reselling.
They
They
sell,
do.
yes, they do.
They do.
They
So
told
then
me.
they have to, then they would have,
Municipalities
Yes.
did want, and that's where I was going with this, municipalities did want these cell phone stores set up.
Yeah, because they sell refurbs.
They do. And a lot of them are buying stolen phones.
Yeah.
The one shop in Franklin Township where we ran into the problem, it's actually a phone store, but he
Yeah,
also
they-
buys gold and silver, he buys meat, he buys everything.
And then they have,
so
they have
so we gotta go after
franchises.
Staples too.
Where the shop's open?
Again, this is open as much as you want to open it up
And
to.
like the franchise self,
And that's
I'm gonna
almost like
take away
a
the
speeding
Verizon
law,
gold
you can
store,
make
but
it
the
55,
franchise
but we're not gonna,
definitely
Absolutely.
would kind of be a magnet for this.
Yes, yes. Cell phones, iPads, they're stolen
Yeah, all the
with
time,
free.
easily,
We
yes.
don't have that in town. We don't have one of those in town. That's selling their phones.
Do you have any small stores that do the phones?
He sells refurbished phones?
All of them do.
I mean, that's-
All of them do.
Yeah.
AT&T store. I didn't know he was doing refurbished phones, did
All of them. Every manufacturer, every carrier sells refurbished.
Now, you're gonna see through, as you're reading through there, you're gonna come across the gift cards, because we have gift cards in there. The latest thing we're seeing is a lot of these secondhand stores. There's none right now in Somerset County. But no, this is what's happening, is they're either getting your gift cards at burglaries, doing a burglary, and selling them, they're getting 60 cents on the dollar in the gift cards. Or what they're doing is, they're affecting other areas where they're doing retail theft in Lowe's and Home Depot. They're taking a fan box, loading the fan box up with a bunch of other things, taking it, paying for the fan, going out the store, taking everything out of the fan box, doing a return. We have no receipt, but they give them the store credit with the credit. Now they go down to the secondhand buyer, and they're selling them that card and getting cash for it. It's an epidemic now throughout the state of New Jersey that we're seeing. So if you see the secondhand, why we're saying gift cards.
EBT cards?
What's that?
I mean, we can just go on and on. EBT cards, people were selling their EBT cards for 50 cents.
I don't know what an EBT card is.
A what?
EBT card?
Food stamp cards. Are you gonna start tracking those?
They are being tracked. Because we had problems with that also.
Who's paying for that?
They should be.
Who's paying for that?
A state agency, I'm not sure. Yeah.
All right, any more questions for President?
I'm gonna see if I can get the vendor, some of these people to come in and we'll discuss it with them.
I do. I don't have any with me. I have some in my vehicle. I'll get them to Chief McCormick and he can give them to you. I'll put my desk phone on there in case anybody has any questions. You know, feel free at any time to call me directly.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
All right, moving right along, we have a number of minutes that we need to approve, starting with the agenda workshop minutes for June the 9th. Someone would like to make that motion? Motion made by Mrs. Guerra,
Second.
second by Mr. Cooley. Any additions or corrections? Roll call, Dan.
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Abstain.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
The next set is executive session from June 9th, 2015.
Make a motion?
Made by Mrs. Guerra, second by Mrs. Guerra. Roll call. Any additions or corrections?
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Abstain.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
The next set is the June 23rd regular meeting minutes. Motion made by Mrs. Guerra, excuse me.
Second.
Second by Mr. Foley. Any additions, corrections? Roll call.
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
The next set are the June 23rd executive session minutes.
Make a motion?
Motion made by Mrs. Guerra, second by Mrs. Guerra. Any additions or corrections? Roll call.
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
The next set is the July 10th, 2015 special meeting minutes. Motion made by Mrs. Guerra,
Second.
second by Mr. Foley. Additions or corrections? Roll call.
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Abstain.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Abstain.
And the last set are the July 14th agenda and workshop meeting
Make the motion?
presented by Mrs. Kara, second by
Second.
Mr. Foley. Additions or corrections?
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
All right, moving on to the ordinances. The first ordinance is for second readings. These are public hearings required. It's ordinance 2015-09, an ordinance of the Borough of Raritan County, Somerset State of New Jersey, adding chapter 260, precious metals, gems, and secondhand goods to the code of the Borough of Raritan.
Table that.
It's currently on the table. If you want to move on the table, you give a motion.
I'll make a motion to remove this from the table.
Second.
As we will continue the discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
All right, the next ordinance is 2015.
You just removed it from the
Yeah, you just took it off.
We just
took
took
it
it
off
off
the
the
table.
table.
Now you can
All right.
vote on it if you want.
You wanted to
Make a
leave the
motion to
table.
put it back on the agenda for the next council meeting?
Well, if you didn't want to remove
Just left it on
it,
that
it's
nine.
no motion.
No motion.
What's
Alright,
it?
I want to make a motion to put it back on the agenda
Alright.
for the next council
Alright,
meeting.
You want to make a motion to table it?
Yes.
to table it, not to remove it, to table it.
Yeah.
So it's- All right.
Motion.
Motion.
Councilman Garrett.
Motion.
table it.
Councilwoman, table.
That's what I said, Councilwoman.
Stop banning me.
Hey, man, yeah, I didn't mention it.
Let's table it again. Play nice.
It'll be open for
Councilwoman
discussion
Garrett
next.
to table it, and who seconded to
Second
table
table.
it?
I'll second it,
All right.
thanks.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I just want to discuss it next
Councilwoman
meeting.
All right,
Karen,
I thought
Yes.
that's what you.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the next ordinance is 2015-10, an ordinance to fix and determine the salaries, wages, or compensation to be paid to certain officers and employees of the Borough of Raritan. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance 2015-10?
So moved.
Motion made by Council President,
Second.
second by Mrs. Guerra. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this ordinance? I see no one. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Giraldi,
Second.
second by Mr. Fooey. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
All right, do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2015-10?
Make that motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Guerra,
Second.
second by Council President. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
No.
And the last ordinance is 2015-11. This is an ordinance of the Borough of Raritan, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 128 of the Code of the Borough of Raritan relating to criminal background checks. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Motion made by the Council President, second by Mrs. Guerra. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this ordinance? Seeing no one, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by the Council President, second by Mr. Fooey. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
All right, do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2015-11?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Fooey,
Second.
second by Mrs. Guerra. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
All right, now we have a number of resolutions. The first one is Resolution 2015-07-88, a resolution providing for the combination of certain issues of bonds of the Borough of Raritan into a single issue of bonds aggregating $3,888,000 in a principal amount. Is there someone that would like to move that resolution?
So moved.
Motion made by the Council President.
Second.
Second by Mr. Fooey. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
The next resolution is 2015-07-89, a resolution determining the form and other details of $3,888,000 in general obligation bonds of the Borough of Raritan and providing for their sale.
So moved.
Motion made by the Council President,
Second.
second by Mr. Fooey. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Karen.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
The next resolution is 2015-07-90, awarding of contract for sidewalk improvements to Southwick Street and Victoria Street.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Guerra, second by Mr. Sebelia,
What was
and the certification of funds is attached.
What was that number?
$122,460.
What was the next bid?
That
What
was
was
the
the
lowest.
next
That
higher
was the
bid?
lowest.
I know, what was the next higher bid?
I don't remember.
I don't think you can ask that question because it's been tabled.
There were three very close.
So the motion has been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Kara.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
Next resolution is 2015-07-91. Resolution authorizing Raritan Borough to jointly bid for tipping fees for solid waste with Manville Borough.
Make motion?
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Kara, second by Mr. Sebelia. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Kara.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
The next resolution is 2015-07-92, 2015 salaries and wages.
Make that motion?
Motion made by Mrs. Gara,
Second.
second by Mr. Fooey. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Kara.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
No.
And next resolution is 2015-07-93, renewal of 2015-2016 liquor licenses.
Make that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Sebelia,
Second.
second by Mr. Giraldi. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Kara.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
Between the first and after it's been seconded, before it's roll call. Yeah, you did, I'm sorry, I apologize. The next resolution is 2015-07-94, railroad monthly parking refund. Two individuals, one in the amount of $40 and one in the amount of $200.
Make that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Sebelia,
Second.
second by Mr. Fooey. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Kara.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
The next resolution is 2015-07-95. It's the disposition of equipment by the Borough Administrator, and it's a Verizon Samsung cell phone.
It's Frank Patio.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Kara,
Second.
second by Mr. Sebelia.
Councilwoman Kara.
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
I have a question. If this is a phone, how is the equipment less than $3,100?
Its value is less than that. $3,150. It's less than that.
Well, why would that amount even be in here if it's just a phone?
It's just quoting the statute, talking
Oh,
about how
okay.
you were disposing it and the value is
So
less
it's,
than that.
all right, okay.
Therefore,
All right, so you're just, okay, yes,
that may be confused with the statutory language.
okay.
All right, but moving on, we're.
Well, I don't want to be
No,
confused.
we haven't finished, no.
We haven't finished, no.
No, it's not gonna hurt.
Okay,
Stop with the
Councilwoman
yes.
Gara, Councilman Giraldi,
Yes.
Council President LaBelle,
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
Now, with approval of bills, we have resolved that claims in the amount of $1,252,804.80 have been listed on the bill list for the period of June 22nd, 2015 through July 24th, 2015, and report the files of Borough Hall. Someone like to read the motion? Motion made by Mrs. Harris, second by Mr. Giraldi. Roll call.
Councilwoman Kara,
Yes.
Councilman Fooey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara,
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi, Council President LaBelle,
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
And we have one purchase order to Waterway, New Jersey and Kenilworth. Hose testing for the fire hose for the fire department in the amount of $1,919.95 for the certification of funds, and I believe this is actually.
Make that motion.
Second by Mrs. Carroll, second by Mr. Sebelia.
Councilwoman Kara,
Yes.
Councilman Fooey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara,
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi,
Yes.
Council President LaBelle,
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
Okay, committee liaison reports. Council President, let's start with you.
I only have one report, and that's for recreation, and Santa came to Raritan last week. He was at Freelandhuisen and Basilone Pool, handed out candy and gifts to the kids. They did a reading of when the Grinch Stole Christmas, how the Grinch stole Christmas.
When